2023. I'd like to call the meeting to order, and we've got a full board, which is great. I'm very excited. Can I get a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Thanks, Kathy. Second? Thanks,
Second.
Steve. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Thank you. May I get a motion to approve the minutes from October 10th, 2023 for the regular sewer commission meeting?
So moved. John speaking.
Thank you, John. Second? Kathy, thank you. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Great. New business. So we have 8A Bluff Road application to connect. This is, I don't know if everybody knows the backstory on this, but I will fill you in. Virginia Bush Sutman had come to the commission, I want to say 10 years ago, to put this little apartment dwelling on as an office on her property, and vowed there was never going to be a bathroom in there. Well, evidently COVID has changed all of that. She has since put in a bathroom and is asking for permission to connect. I mean, I'm sure she connected to an existing sewer line that she already had, but now that she's making it be a rentable property, it's going to be commercial, would be a commercial rate to it. So it would need to have a new rate attached to that, which would go from the basic rate, which is 166 to 240. Is there any discussion as to, did anybody, I don't know if everybody read the letter she sent about, about her doing this. I mean, it's small and evidently zoning has signed off on it, but this is one of those opportunities where they've kept us in the loop. And if it's going from residential to commercial, it gives the sewer commission a whole $80 more a year, which I know will make a big difference. But that being said, so anyway, I don't foresee any problem with it. Does anybody have, or I see Virginia on the line right now. Would you like to add anything, Virginia, to this, or you're good? You're on mute. You're on mute. You're on mute. Thank you.
Well, I think my letter and everything else explains it. I'm trying to produce another affordable home in Kent, and no other change will be made except there'll be one more car here. The sewer has been connected since I think 1919 for a study and guest house. I've had a few guests from time to time, and everything's working fine. I'm connected to the sewer already. I just need official approval for a dwelling unit. And by the way, that dwelling unit is larger than most of the guest rooms that some of the people on the affordable housing waiting list are living in with their parents. So it's a nice addition.
Palatial. It's going to be palatial. Great.
Well, it's not palatial, but the view is fantastic of the river.
Well, I think we're good with this. I don't see any issue with it at all. So
Do you need a motion or anything?
we need a motion to approve this for sure. And I don't see any issues with it. So may I get a motion to approve 8A Bluff Road application to connect for commercial use?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Thank you all. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thanks, Virginia. You're all set.
Thank you. Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
I'll have somebody in there sometime soon as Kent Affordable Housing and the management get somebody screened.
Okay.
Fabulous.
Excellent.
Fabulous.
Well, congratulations. That's good.
Thank you.
Okay, next on the schedule is 14A Kent Green Boulevard application for grease trap. It's what it is this. I don't know if you know the space. The space was I guess the old Roja kitchen, and Stacy Spence wants to open up a test kitchen bakery. The grease trap's already there from when it was, paisans and all those
Michael,
restaurants
right.
thereafter and stuff like
Right.
that. So the grease trap does exist. It's just getting permission to reconnect it, and she's working through Board of Health right now and seeing if this is even feasible. But I told John he would probably have to get a permission to, reconnect it and stuff, just let the sewer commission know that it's online.
Yep.
And I didn't know if anybody thought there might be any issues with this.
No, only that the Torrington area public health, whoever, check it because it's
She-
probably been not
She's
used for
there-
ages.
She's there right now. I told him, I'm sure you're gonna need 12 more sinks, and your grease trap, and you're ready to go. So she's in the process of working through this whole thing. I'm not sure if it's feasible for her, but she just wanted to get everything in place before she pursued it further. So and this would make it, give us another commercial rate hookup, which would be terrific. So
Alyssa, I'm sorry, can I ask
yeah,
a
go
question?
ahead. Sure.
Test kitchen, do we have a special designation for that and how it's worked?
What do you mean?
Well, she says here, well, you said here and she said here that it's going to be a test kitchen, so it's not going to be a full open kitchen.
What she's trying to do is do wholesale bakery, but she hasn't finalized her application yet
Okay.
to zoning and to Torrington Area Health yet. So she's trying to see what that space is capable of letting her do and then go from there.
Okay.
But as far as the grease trap is concerned, it's already in place and they're already online. So this would just be more income for the commission, which would be great.
So basically this is not a test kitchen then, so we'll take out that wording. Okay.
I don't even know. It's either a test kitchen or she's going to do wholesale. I mean, personally, what she's going to do with it, it's such a tiny space, is not really going to matter to the commission, I don't think,
Okay.
or
great.
to the sewer commission. Okay, so may I get a motion to approve the application for a grease trap at 14A Kent Green Boulevard?
So moved.
Thank you. Second?
Second.
Kathy, thank you. All in favor?
All right.
Aye.
Aye.
You. Next, 23 Maple Street application, change of use. This is the old B&B from Julie Butler
Musala.
and at Musala restaurant, you name it.
Gosh.
And she's looking to put in a online like yoga, holistic. I'm not exactly sure exactly what else she's planning to do there, but that is the thrust of it. And basically it's taking that property from residential to commercial as well, which would mean another $80. Oh my God. We're gonna get to 1,000 by the end of the day. So anyway, that's what is happening with that. And it's been through zoning, it's going through zoning right now, and they're waiting to see what the sewer commission says, and I don't see there being a problem with it from our standpoint, unless anybody else has something to add in. Okay, so may I get a motion to approve 23 Maple Street application for change of use and going from a basic fee to a commercial fee?
So moved.
Thank you, Steve. Second? Thank you,
Second.
Kathy. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Thank you. Next, estimate to regrade the fields at the sewer.
Alyssa?
Debbie,
I'm sorry to interrupt.
no, that's all right. I
have
didn't
a
see your hand. I
somewhere.
apologize.
No. My question is this going to be owner occupied?
At 23 Maple?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so that's two, then she'll have two rates. She'll be residential and commercial.
Okay, and how does that work?
Oh, it's not unusual. It just means it's an owner occupied building for a business.
So she would regardless be paying the commercial rate.
And the residential rate,
Oh, wow, we're gonna
Why
make it even
both?
more money. Wow.
because that's the way the system is set up.
Oh, wow. I did not know that. All right. Well,
Probably
then
need to
that's-
let her know.
Okay,
I think we should make sure she knows that. I mean, not that I think that's going to
Okay.
deter her from doing this, but I don't think she realizes that it would incur a second rate.
okay.
Do you-
All right. Do I let her know, or is that something, well, I'll talk to Joyce.
talk to Joyce, see if we need to send out a letter. I mean, we're gonna have to send her some acknowledgement that it's been approved. But we could, in the acknowledgement of the approval, we could let her know that there are 2 rates for that piece of property.
Okay,
Okay,
Are-
but
are
she's not doing any, I mean, if anybody goes to the house for a treatment, I think it's like 1 at a time. I mean, it's not like there are 10 people there. It's just, it's really low impact supposedly right now. So, okay, great.
thank you.
Wait, Debbie, just for
Yes.
clarification, those 2 rates get added together and then get charged on the same number of gallons?
Yes. That's, the bill has 2 components. One is based on the water readings from Aquarian and the other is based on the basic charge.
Oh,
In
so
this
the
case-
basic charge is the homeowner charge and then the water reading is the commercial piece?
Yes,
Okay. Thank you.
you're welcome.
Out of curiosity, how many other businesses, are there a lot of businesses that have that or people that have that as well, Debbie?
Usually, well, I'll use the old Country Clothes as an example. That was 2 residences up above because
Oh,
it's,
okay, I
it's-
follow you then. All right,
and yeah, and next door, yeah, you go along that line, it's residential and commercial.
oh, okay, I did not know that. Well, great, thank
But
you.
We charge wherever we can.
Hey. We're gonna get to that $1,000 yet today. Okay, estimate to regrade the fields. I think this is a Bart conversation. I mean, a Lyle conversation, sorry, Lyle, apologize.
No worries.
Looking in the wrong square.
Yeah, that's right. The fields where we pump out the septage and where we distribute the solids that we run through the belt press, that area has the center of it, so to speak, has become an area where liquid ponds. So we have an issue of getting it dry, and it's of such that I fear that the state will complain that we have a septage buildup there. So I had contacted Will Gowell to get an estimate and have him come up and take a look and see what he thought about changing the slope, so it just doesn't pond in the center anymore. And it's a twofold thing. It will help us with distribution, and plus, get this, alleviate any repercussions from the state of Connecticut. So I would really like to have that done.
And he sent in an estimate for you, right?
Yeah, from about $5,000.
Okay. I need I think some more input on that. Just I was told that we need to apply to inland wetland to make sure it's, I'm not sure, sorry, I don't know how to phrase this. Inland wetland needs an application evidently in case it's too close to the river.
It's over 200 feet away, so I didn't think that was an issue.
Because I really don't want to tangle with inland and wetlands. That's like a whole kettle of fish. Ricky, what do you think? Not to put you on the spot.
Are you doing just a low spot or we?
Yeah, we're just
Bring the whole
taking
field there.
not the whole field. We're just taking some fill from the high spot and moving it to the low spot. We're not adding any fill or removing any fill. We're just redistributing it. And we're not going to go past that lower section.
Well, anything within the 200 feet is required to have a permit, and also there's another one for the who's it, Tonic River Commission?
Yeah, I thought that was not applicable.
Tonic River
because it was-
Commission has to have a permit because that's within that area.
even though it's more than 200 feet away.
Yeah, that's a different thing than the wetlands permit. There's different categories along the length of the whole river, and some's narrow, some's wide. In that section there, it's overlaid over the whole field, I think.
So 2 different governing bodies of the river.
So it's inland and wetland, and who's the other one?
Housatonic River Commission, which is, you can care of COG.
So what would we have to do to not have to deal with them?
Not have to get the permit or?
Well, how, I mean, no, I'm not, I mean, if we need a permit, I get that. It's just, I know inland wetlands is, you know, is just gonna make it be, I mean, we're obviously not gonna get this done by the end of the year. I don't think, maybe, I mean, maybe we are, but I just know once you start to have to apply to them, it becomes a whole can of worms. And I just would like to see if we could kind of avoid that, but I don't know. I don't know if we can or not. It just depends on how they grade off the soil there.
I would say on that, if we, well, had Ty come down there and show her where 200 feet was back from the river all the way along, that if it was all outside that area, then she could give them the agent approval without having to go through all the meetings.
Okay,
Wouldn't be a regular permit, it would just be she would be telling that as far as she's concerned, she's outside the regulated part. But if there is anything within 200 feet, then yes.
just because I know inland wetland, I mean, if there's like a flea in the water, you're not, you can't do anything. I mean, it's
Basically, all it's gonna mean is having to put up silt fence, and you're probably gonna have to do that for the river commission anyway, so.
all right.
Between where you're working and the river.
All right, so, I don't know, this kind of obviously is above me, but so I don't know, where do we go from here now? Do we reach out? I guess we need to have Willie define the space that's getting done. And then make sure that it's not within 200 feet of the river.
Yeah, I mean, if you just brought a sketch into Ty, you could tell him whether he needed either you need anything from wetlands, and then, but with the river commission, I know it's within if you look on their map, it's within that area, so.
So will we do,
It's just fill out another form and send it in,
so if we were within the 200 yards of the river, would we have to also put in an application with Housatonic
yeah.
River?
yes.
So no matter
200 feet though, it's not.
I mean, 200 feet. So no matter what, we're gonna have to deal with the Housatonic River people.
Yeah,
Okay.
Alyssa, if I get that plan, I will get it to the river commissioner,
Okay, who's talking to me? Sorry.
Steve.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I couldn't tell. I apologize. Thank you. Okay. That would be great. And then, if you could get that to Lyle and then you make a copy and get it to Willie to see where it goes from
Sure.
there. And then we can move this forward. You know, I just want to make sure we comply with all this stuff. And if we just didn't have to tangle with those two organizations, it would really be nice.
Yeah, the river committee's not gonna meet for another month, though.
Okay. Well, that's why I said we're probably not going to be able to have this come to fruition before the end of the year anyway. You know, I mean, is it, I mean, it's not like a life and death situation down there, I'm sure. So obviously the sooner it gets done, that would be great, but I don't think there's an immediacy to it, or is there? I guess not. So, okay.
No.
Bart, do you have anything to add in? I know I see you there. All right, never mind. Okay. All right, so Steve, if you could get that and get that to Lyle, and Lyle will get a copy of it to Willie, and then hopefully maybe we can get it organized before next month's meeting, and maybe see what the other commission says about it. If that would work.
The river commission meets on the same day as we meet.
Okay,
So they're gonna meet tonight, but they won't meet before we meet again.
all right. Well, if we could get it to them for their next meeting though,
I will
then
do that.
then we can get it teed up for, you know, early spring next year, which would probably make more sense financially anyway.
That quote will change then, because we'll be paying the full price for a machine moving.
I'm sure it will. I mean, unless we can get it approved sooner than that, I don't know.
I'll get a hold of Will.
Okay. I mean, I guess it just requires some homework to find out if we need to meet with the other commission. And if we don't, because of what we're doing, I mean, if we talk to Ty to get her input on it to see what we need, then that would be a good starting point.
I don't actually know who that is.
She's the zoning commissioner. She's she replaced Donna Hayes, just to let you know.
Oh, okay.
She's in that office.
Okay.
Okay. All right, so we will table this until next month. Okay. Old business is 24 Main Street, Kazi application. To let you know the status of that, Bart had itemized a list of things that the commission required from him back in September. And they weren't clear on what we needed, even though it was highlighted in red of what was supposed to be what we requested. They finally made arrangements to get a survey of the property, and I believe that is happening this week. So they will be on next month's agenda to get us to approve them. So hopefully they'll have all that paperwork done for next month. So that's where that is.
Okay.
Next one, 5.2, 32 Kent Green Boulevard, Kent Green Laundromat. I don't know what to tell Carly, but I mean, I've tried reaching out to my own laundry companies to see how they calculate the water usage on that. I mean, unfortunately, he didn't call me back, which is frustrating, but I think that bill is hers. I don't know how for her to get around it, but I mean, if the commission would like to extend her a payment plan because it's so high, because it is over $10,000, we can do that, and give her some time to pay it, maybe, knock off the interest on it, but give her a time frame that it has to be paid. I don't know. I mean, Debbie, what's your thought on this?
Oh, my thought is anything that works for you works for me. Whatever the commission wants to do.
Okay, well, I mean,
I actually think that's pretty reasonable.
I don't
Steve?
think that's unfair,
No.
I mean, everybody's got, everybody uses water. Everybody determines the cost of their water in what they sell or what they do. And the fact that she's chosen to, not pay it, I mean, I'm sure she's calculated it out differently. I don't know. I don't know how she runs her business, so it's not fair.
Question when you had a minute.
I'm sorry.
I had just something to add to that. I was
Yeah,
curious.
please.
I was curious the last when Carly had spoken. I just kind of did some Googling. I wonder if she could be, recommended to like an industry trade group. I'm sure there's a laundromat trade association. This has got to be a big issue everywhere with water usage, whether there are devices or some way for her to save, conserve, or maybe I was looking for like a metering device, because as she said, half of that goes into the dryer. So how does one calculate that? I didn't come up with anything, but
Well,
perhaps there's something out there she can pursue through her distributors of
Right.
her, because it's all commercial equipment. Just a thought, because it interested me as to how, it's thousands of laundromats across the country. I'm sure that there's some way that they're gaining efficiency, because I looked at those bills, I was just flabbergasted.
Yeah.
So maybe
Kathy.
if someone could suggest that to her, that maybe there are some trade groups that have some input.
I agree, Vinny. I think that the onus is on her to do her homework and figure this out. She can't dump her problem into our lap and expect us to fix it for her. I mean, beyond mitigating, the interest and making a payment plan, I think that's all reasonable.
I just from personal experience here at the restaurant, this past, I guess, summer, Santoro's sold the restaurant portion of their laundry to a company down in Stamford, okay? And initially it was definitely nicer laundry. I mean, it's a little there, it was the switchover was a little was complicated, but we made it through. So then I reached out to him to say maybe he could do hotel to see what the cost on that would be so that it would make it worth his while to come to Kent. And his cost of water, or what he wanted to charge me, was by the pound. And it would have tripled my laundry bill for what I do. I mean, granted, he's down in Stamford, so I don't know what their rates are down in Stamford, but I just couldn't see adding that kind of cost onto my customers at the hotel. I mean, even if it's a nicer tablecloth or whatever, I mean, I couldn't see tripling those costs. It just made no sense. So somehow she's got, like you said, Vinny, she's got to look into what other companies are doing, or to see something to help minimize her costs, the expenses there, because, if it's costing her too much to operate it, then she needs to recalculate how she does it. But the fact remains is she does owe the commission $10,000 plus. So let's see if we can offer her. I mean, you have a history of how she pays it. If we asked her to pay a third, and had it paid in full by June, would that be reasonable, Debbie? Or you think that's too much?
We
Or
could certainly bring that up. And let me just retract my statement about, I do care about the interest simply because it's a state statute. So instead of taking it off the interest, if you could just say you're taking it off the principal, it would be legal then.
okay, so take
Whatever that dollar amount of interest is, take it off. We're just saying we're taking it off the principal and not the interest. So we're not
I
violation
okay.
of a
I follow you.
statute.
All right. So if you could put together what her total bill is and recalculate out that
So
figure,
the total
and then
bill,
we can send her a letter saying we will let you pay it off in thirds.
Okay.
Plus you have to stay current with your current bill. Okay. Otherwise, in June, we add it back in.
okay. I will.
I think that's fair. I need to hear, what does everybody else think?
I gave you my opinion.
Yeah, I think that's reasonable.
Mhm.
Yeah, she has to figure out how to pay her bills.
Yeah,
this
like-
isn't like, it's not like the commission changed the policy. This was the policy all along.
yeah,
Right.
exactly. And she does this periodically, but I think this is the longest stretch she's gone without staying current. So, and once you start to get really behind, it just snowballs. So, all right, so we'll put together a letter for her and address that then. If
Thank
she'd
you.
shown up at the meeting, she might not have had the problem.
Debbie,
Whatever.
I
Yeah.
just want to ask, what are the legal repercussions for her not paying her bill? Is it the same as a regular tax? We put a tax lien on her business, that kind of thing?
The problem in this case is she's renting a property, so it goes to the owner of the property to pay the bill ultimately. So that's where it gets,
Oh, so we'd have to like sue her and whatever and go to court and.
well, or you just go right to the landlord.
No.
And we don't want to do that. I'm not implying that's a course of action.
We would go to the landlord for the sewer use?
Definitely.
Oh, okay. All right, thanks.
All right, well, let's try this approach and see how far we get. She should be, she's got 6 months to pay it off, which she should be able to do, hopefully. Okay,
Thank you.
okay. Meeting schedule for next year. Joyce sent that out, and I said to her to leave it at 4:30 unless anybody really wanted to change it back to 4. we've sort of gotten used to the 4:30 thing, but if 4 makes sense to people, that's fine too. Kathy,
That's fine.
Oh.
4:30 is fine.
is everybody okay with that then?
Sure.
Okay, all right. Lyle, I know you probably thought we'd never get to you.
That's quite all right.
Hey,
Anyways,
Alexa,
good-
Yes.
Joyce said we need a motion on the
Oh,
time
sorry,
of the
Oh,
meeting.
yeah.
sorry. May get a motion to approve the meeting schedule for next year and leaving it at 4:30.
So moved.
Thank you. Second.
I'll second.
Thanks, Ricky. All in favor? Aye.
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 Thank
Aye.
you. It will remain this second Tuesday of the month then. Okay, Lyle.
Okay, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to our new commissioner, Ellie. I'm looking
Oh.
forward to working with you. Anyways, okay, we had 2.5 million gallons total flow through the plant. 80,000 gallons per day average. 1.1 million gallons came from Kent School. Average VOD removal rate and total suspended solids removal rate are holding at 99%. Currently have 1 bed in use, 2 are ready for use, and 1 is partially cleaned, but we need a little more drying to finish that up. Roofing materials have been delivered, waiting on the installation, in conversation with Alyssa. That'll probably start the end of the week or beginning of next. And we've been just prepping for winter, getting things, like I said, the beds ready and, the equipment ready for cold weather. Hopefully it'll be a mild, low precipitation winter for us. That's all I have.
I have to say, I was talking with Cam Cunningham, who is the owner of New Milford Septic over the weekend. He happened to come for lunch and he had nothing but the nicest things to say about Grant, who's the assistant at the sewer plant. It made me feel really good. He said, he's mechanical, he's logical, he's, pleasant to work with. And I'm like, wow, what a lucky find for us. So
Yes, I agree.
so all good stuff. So that was really nice to hear from somebody unsuspecting. Barbara, you're up.
All right, let's see. So I'm sharing my screen. I was able to get the reports out yesterday afternoon. I apologize, I didn't get them out earlier. It's just been a little busy. The first report is the typical actual versus budget, and I need to point out that this budget figure is only year-to-date budget. It's not the full year budget. So as you're comparing the actuals to the budget, it's only what was budgeted through that same period. So that's why the figures are so close, even though we're not at the end of the year. The septage fees are looking very good compared to where they were, because we base the budget on the prior year figures. So that's how we come up with a budget. So a year ago, our septage fees were a little bit lower. Right now, they're a little higher, which is great. Sewer use fees, actually the opposite. They're a little lower this year than where they were a year ago. But overall, because of the ARPA funding, it looks like we're in a bonus position as far as revenue goes. This ARPA funding just goes in and comes back out, but we still have to report it on our set of books. The general expenditures are tracking in line with what was budgeted for the most part. The electricity is a little under, so that's a good thing. The insurance is a little bit higher, and that's only because the HSA funding is deposited in July. It doesn't get meted out over the full fiscal year. So as we move closer to the middle of the year and toward the end of the year, that whole shift will show and it'll ameliorate so that the budget versus actual in that medical line will come more into line. Lab exams are pretty much on target. Maintenance and repair, a little bit high, but that maintenance and repair includes a $1,200 cost for 5 PVC discharge hoses. So that's the majority of that expense. Here's the $47,500 that goes out for the ARPA funding for the roof. Our outside services is low only because we haven't received any bills from BART yet this year. Payroll expense is tracking properly. Everything else seems to be tracking properly. We have already put into the capital reserve $21,000. So even with that, we're still tracking at a profit of $11,000 at this point in the fiscal year. So that's all good news.
Thank you.
The second report that I send out is the balance sheet, and that shows you the cash positions as of the end of the last month versus the prior year, so that you can see, even though it looks like our operating account is down $37,000, our capital account is up $42,000. So really, the only thing that's really lower than it was a year ago is the septage account. But even when you add all that in, the whole difference in our cash is only $335 from a year ago. So that's all good. Our receivables are a little bit high. We're waiting on some funding coming in from High Watch. The depreciation's been posted for last year. That was $129,000. Our accounts payable is low, but that's kind of just a timing issue. And as you can see, our net income, even though we put money into the capital reserve, that's not really an expense. So we have to actually add it back in on the balance sheet here. So the net income this year is $32,000 to date, whereas last year it was only $14,000 to the same period. So again, we're in better shape than we were a year ago. The last report I provide is the disbursement journal for October. It was a pretty quiet month. There really wasn't anything of note that happened in this month. And you won't see the expense for the roof here, only because it gets paid directly out of ARPA. So when I posted the 47.5 of income, I posted the total expense at the same time as a journal entry. So that's all I had, unless anyone has any questions.
No, thank you.
So I just need a motion for the board to approve the disbursement journal.
So may I get a motion to approve the disbursement journal as is?
So moved.
Thanks, Kathy. Second.
Second.
Thanks, Ricky. All in favor? Aye.
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 Thank you. Debbie, do you have any report at all?
No, I don't. The November bills are out and we're halfway through collecting money. I received your check, Alyssa, today and put it in the bank. Thank you.
All right, there you go. I usually forget to do it till it's like too
It's
late.
done.
I thought of it this time. That's good. Is anybody, I mean, I know Carly is the most outstanding, but is there anybody that is outstanding a lot in in like payments and stuff, or it's everybody's pretty current?
I'm Sophie's Bakery. I'm having a little trouble, but I think I'm not making a formal complaint, formal report. It's a work in progress with Sophie's Bakery,
Okay,
but those are the only two.
okay. I was just curious, just
No,
making
no,
sure we don't
it's your job to ask. Thank you.
get another Carly on our hands, so. Okay, well, Bart has disappeared with his iPad. So much for Bart. Does anybody else have anything else to add in? Well, welcome to Ellie. We're excited to have you on the commission, and Jack Nelson, for
Thank you.
just to let y'all know, was the other person who was nominated. So we're excited to have you guys, and Peter goes off, and I'm trying to remember
John
who else
goes off.
and John goes off.
Yeah.
And John, thank you for all
Well-
time and effort. Much appreciated.
Anytime.
So anyway, well, thank you all. Everybody have a great Thanksgiving,
You too.
and we'll see you next month.
All right.
Thank
Great.
you.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, guys,
Bye.
very much. Bye.
Everybody.